Okay, happy Friday, as my friend Brian Carter would say, and says to every day of the week. Happy Friday, happy Saturday, happy Sunday, all the days. And we're happy to have you here with us today. This is the Hostos Student Leadership Academy Friday Ambassador Workshop Series. I don't remember which number we're at because everything's just moving so fast. And so I want to recognize that we have a wonderful guest with us here today, a former CUNY student, a former member of the once called CUNY Leadership Academy, now called the Malave Leadership Academy, an extraordinary individual who's taken his talents both as a student and then after graduation to the heights of what you can do if you put your mind to it. He's an extraordinary person, an extraordinary individual, a great friend to many of the campuses in CUNY, and we developed this wonderful relationship over the years. And back in the past, before the pandemic, Chris would come and visit us in person, and he'd be in his very fancy suit, which he's not wearing today. He wants to get down to the nitty gritty and really touch the money here and get to the heart of the matter. But I'm really glad that you were able to make some time for us. I know how busy your schedule is, Chris, and we welcome
Don't
you
say that.
back. And I turn the workshop over to you.
Thank you, Jason. So very kind. So very kind. I know Jason for quite a while. He was one of the cornerstones for me really actualizing who I am, and really being comfortable in my own skin. We'll talk about this. So, leaders, hey, if you need to drink some coffee, if you need to drink some water, if you need to stretch, whatever you need to do before I start, let's do it, because I don't want you to miss a second. All right, so I'll give a minute if you need a minute, and if you can. Typically I'm in person, but since the pandemic, there are screens in front of us. If you can, please turn on your screens, as if you can. It's not mandatory, but I just want to create an experience where I can see you face to face and you're able to look in my blue eyes. All right, it's not blue. It's not blue. All right, guys, so I'll give you now 30 minutes, 30 seconds to stretch, to drink some water, to do what you need to do. All right, I'll give you 15 seconds. Make sure you do that. All right, I'll give you 10 seconds. I thought that was a long 15 seconds. All right, so let's jump back in. All right, if everyone's good, you can give me a thumbs up. Those I can see, or virtually, you can give me that virtual thumbs up. Awesome. All right, so let's jump into this. I always like to do this before I play a video of me rather than tell a whole soliloquy. I'm Christopher Browne, the founder of the Buckley Group, the whisperer for youth and millennial service providers. You may ask, who is Christopher Browne? Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Now, my neighborhood where I grew up was notorious for its crime, primarily amongst the youth and millennial demographic. Not many of my friends graduated from high school, so the maximum achievement was you graduating from high school. And not many of my friends did that. So it was very interesting for me. I looked around and I realized that not many people were getting anywhere. The situation was getting worse. So I said to myself, I had to do something to break the cycle. So I ventured out. My mom brought me to the US, and she said to me, hey, there's a college close to where you live. Why don't you apply? Why don't you take a stab at it? And I did. I got accepted, and the rest was history. I broke every record regarding business and finance at Brooklyn College, and the entire CUNY system for that matter. And I received a national scholarship to go to Switzerland to study professional communications, business law, and diplomacy, which was pretty cool. There I saw a lot and I experienced a lot, especially attending one of the most prestigious colleges in Switzerland. And when I came back, especially when the cost of attending the college was so expensive, I remember having to raise $21,000 in less than 3 weeks to go to the school. And I did it, and I went to Switzerland. And when I came back, I said to myself, I have to give back so that others can get this quality experience. So I started a fund, and that's now approaching close to $1 million, hundreds of thousands of dollars for students to get an international education. And now I'm honored to have the opportunity to facilitate colleges, professional organizations, schools to adequately service their youth and millennial demographic. So it's really interesting now, raising funds, advancing program development and design, and we're involved, the bulk of the group is involved in many cutting-edge, groundbreaking initiatives. For example, technology, education, healthcare. It's pretty cool. There, it's me in a nutshell. It's really hard work, and you really need to have a vast imagination to really make a difference.
Yeah, this video does a much better job than I. Yeah, much better job than I. So welcome everyone. I am a CUNY graduate, a two-time CUNY graduate. Actually, my bachelor's and I did a master's in economics at Brooklyn College. You know, so now it's currently, Jason didn't say, but now I'm at Cornell. That's why you had the Ithaca. Those that came in earlier, you know, would hear me traveling back and forth. You know, so I'm here in Brooklyn. Who? Matter of fact, who's from Brooklyn here? Who's from Brooklyn? Who's? Am I the only one representing? Okay, I'm the only one representing. Okay, I'll represent then. What about Queens? Who's from Queens? I see. You know, you like nah. I see you, Jose. Who is? Okay, Sheridan represent. Okay. What about Staten Island?
Partial. Well, my
Okay.
kids live in Staten Island. I'm from Brooklyn. I missed your first comment.
Okay, Brooklyn represent. Nice, Kevin. Who's from the Bronx?
Right here, the
Yeah,
Bronx.
I knew it. I knew it. Who's from Manhattan?
I live in Manhattan.
Nice. Oh, don't throw any shade. Don't throw any shade. You know why? I say that because hey, we're one family, and for you to be here in this workshop, that says something about yourself. I have learned a vast deal of my expertise from this workshop, a workshop like this, you know, with CUNY Leadership Academy. It really separates you know, and grows those that wants to be in leadership positions. And right now, me being at Cornell, you know, it's like an MBA of sorts, studying real estate, so more private equity. You know, we're talking about hedge funds. Now we're talking about really affecting change, you know, within my sphere, how I see it. And today we're going to be talking about how to enhance the impact, your impact in an ever-changing world. How to enhance it. Dyson or Masters. Okay, Jose. Well, okay, Jose. Okay.
I'm asking if you're a part of Dyson or you a little ahead of that.
I know. So I'm ahead of that. So it's an MPS, Masters in Professional Studies. It's more like an MBA, but it's more. It's more extensive. Oh my goodness. You know. Okay. I hear you. So you're familiar?
A little bit. Yeah.
No, that's not a little bit. You're calling out schools here. Dyson, you're calling out schools. My God.
It's a dream school of mine. Yeah, I like Cornell.
Oh yeah. So let's connect afterwards. Let's connect. I'm serious.
Will do.
Let's connect. All right. So again, welcome everyone. I hope you had the chance to drink some coffee, some water, wash your face, splash your face, because I don't want anyone to miss anything here. All right. Any questions before I jump in? Anything anyone wants to say before I jump in? If you think I should just jump in, give me a thumbs up. Brian, what go on? I see Brian here. Look,
What's going on? What's going on, man?
I am good. I am good. I am good. All right. So again, now what I'm doing is totally off script. I want to really get down into the nitty-gritty. How to enhance your impact in an ever-changing world. Now, me and my wife, we spoke, and there were some instances that really caught my attention here. Let me scroll down here so you can see this. So what I've devised here is called the Trinity of Impact. The Trinity of Impact. All right, so remember this, the Trinity of Impact. And first, we have to look within ourselves. Like, what are we passionate about? What can we see ourselves doing every day above and beyond the 9 to 5? Look within yourself. What makes you very happy? What makes you very angry? That's also important. That's also important. And I say that because when you're put in a position to work 9 to 5, because of the passion that you have, you would far exceed any of your colleagues. If you can tap into what makes you thrive, what makes you happy, even what gets your blood boiling, you really point that, direct that, steer that into the right vessel, you can outpace anyone. Whoever had that experience? Whoever had that experience? They were so pissed off a situation, and they had to solve a situation. And sometimes when everyone's saying no, it can't be done, you've done it without eating, you've done it without sleeping, just so that you can solve that problem. Whoever been in a situation like that? I can't be the only one. Good or bad?
Well, I would assume that everybody has at some point, right, something that they were incredibly passionate about that they were able to push forward with, and maybe everyone doesn't want to talk about it, but I'm sure everyone is familiar with the
I see, and raise their hands. Thank you, Kevin, for being interactive. So, leaders, let's be interactive. Let's be interactive. I deliberately told Jason, hey, no hold barred. Let's get down into the nitty-gritty. Typically, I have slides with a lot of words. And now I really want to get into the core issues. Mary, you raise your hand as well. Speak to us here. What you don't have to go into details, but really, can you relate?
I would say we can all relate. Like, speaking on an academic level, like throughout the semester, we go through like so many assignments, and I feel like you are able to know like what you go through, to accomplish everything, even like not sleeping, So I feel like as students, we go through this, like seriously, like, I passed, but you didn't know what I went through just for me, so to pass.
Got it. Who has kids here? Thank you, Mary. Who has kids? Who has a significant other, someone that they really hold dear? No, I see your hand, Mary. I say that because I bet you, and this is a secret of mine, so but I'll share it. Now, I don't know if you're asking, but many people ask, Chris, how did you raise that $21K in 3 weeks, 10 days? Or close to $1 million. How did you? Because the secret is to not really put yourself at the forefront. For me, it has never been about myself. It has been about others. Okay, how can others benefit? I got this experience. Now, how can others get that experience? You know, so the energy that you get from other people's, how should I say it? Other people's maybe lack of that resources is what is my driver. Is my driver. Now, my mother, perhaps, let's say she never had a 3-course meal or 4-course meal, 5-course meal, but she would work her butt off night, day, in between, so that her kids will be able to get what she wasn't, what she didn't have. So when I tap into the kids, that's why I ask, who has kids? Because I'm sure, and I have kids as well. In my mind, I'm saying no. Every generation has to be better off. That's my mindset. You know, so, and if I have to be the one to at least start it, well, so be it. So now I work harder. I read more. I get more involved into the subject matter that I see can change the situation. You got me? So you have to first look within. What are you passionate about? Because you don't want to do something that you're not, oh my goodness, that you're not passionate about. I know many of us, I know I can speak for myself. Woo! My parents wanted me to be a lawyer, an accountant. What is it again? A doctor. When they hear a businessman or business person, what? Wow, what is that? Business? Am I the only, again, am I the only one that can relate? Man, it was a situation where, you know, you have to make yourself approved. So look within yourself, because it's a sad thing where you spend many years, time, effort pursuing something that you know within your hearts of hearts that you don't enjoy. Sooner or later, life and that situation will call your bluff. So be true to yourself. Now, another part of the Trinity is to look at your surroundings. Is what you're doing marketable? Does your passion fill a need, a consumer need? Do you have a mentor in that space? So you don't, so you can avoid mistakes because of other people's prudent advice. That's very important. And if so, can your product or can your passion stand the test of time? So look at your surroundings. No one knows more about your surroundings than you. Whoa, if you live in a place, real estate, if you live in a place, you are the subject matter expert in your surroundings. You know what works, you know what doesn't work, good, bad, indifferent. You know. Now, it's just now to be able to package that into a product. I'm talking positively now, all right? Let's not take what I'm saying negatively. I'm saying how can your passion fill a consumer need? How can it be marketable so it's scalable, so you can go anywhere and start? And now also to look at the wider world. Does your passion anticipate or cover any upcoming trends? Is it seasonal? Or does it succumb to a economic cycle? Or is it trending? So these 3 aspects of impact is very important. But again, it starts within yourself. It starts within yourself, that passion. And many people take this lightly, but I am going to really, again, change the script here and say something. Well, it was profound to me, that you really need to step back. A decision is a powerful thing. a decision is a powerful thing. Don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. So again, all holds barred. So I grew up in a situation. I grew up in Jamaica and Grenada. I was born in Brooklyn, but I grew up in very rough neighborhoods. All right, and peer pressure. I smoked at a very young age. I'll say maybe 11, something like that. Drank, well, forget alcohol. Very young. In the Caribbean, there is no, maybe now they have an age limit, but very young, very young. Maybe again in my early teens, very young. And now I made a decision. My mom brought me out here, and I said to myself, look, hey, Christopher, no, my mom maybe spent her life savings getting me over here. So I got to make this count. And I made a decision to just say, nope, all of the vices, I need to focus. I need to focus and really hone my skills. A decision to get married, what school you need to go to, whether you're going to move out, whatever the case is. Do not neglect the power of your decision. That can steer you in a path to destruction, like literally, or to greatness. Don't give it away. Don't just make a decision laissez-faire, like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. Never. And the older you get, the more risk is attached to the decision that you make. That's a whole different subject there. But I don't want you to overlook decisions. When it's time to make a decision, I want you to really think about that. And especially in the stage where you are at right now, every minute counts, every second counts. We're trying to figure things out. Whoa, we need to be mindful of our decisions. Any questions here? You see, I jumped right into the pool. I didn't skip around the pool. I jumped right into the water. Any questions here? Let's dialogue. Jose, I know, I'm picking on you now because you know about Dyson and you know about the mask. I'm picking you. Hey, what's your take? What is your take so far?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with everything you said. I feel like it's very important right now to maximize our time because we're looking for our passion and something that we really want to do.
Nice. Sashi, what about you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yes. Tell
I'm
me.
not able to answer right now because I'm doing something. I'm so sorry.
Okay. No worries. That's fine.
But I am definitely listening and I love it.
I appreciate you. Jessica, what about you? What have you gathered so far? Your passion, the trinity of impact, decision and decision making. What's your take? Okay.
I can go if you
Oh,
want.
please. Yes. Kevin, my guy.
So I could relate with parts of your story. And I'm not going to get too deep into it, but it's as you look within yourself and you try to see how you can, if you want to, how you can change your environment, and so this trinity of impacting, it relates. Like I understand it and I see it as a process that at a certain point in your life we all go through, right? And to try to either reset your course or set your course depending on what your experiences have been, and and try to change your future, right? So yeah, that's how I relate to it.
My guy, Kevin, we got to meet in person.
Oh yeah, well,
I'm sensing some depth with you here.
I
My guy.
appreciate that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, no problem, no problem. Now, all right, let me do this now. So we talked about the Trinity of Impact. We talked about decisions. Now, also, the way we look at the state of the world really dictate the degree of impact that we can make. The way we look at the world, the way we look at the state of the world has a very profound impact or effect on the impact that we can make on the world. Chris, what the heck are you talking about? Well, all right, so I'll give you some tenets here, some points for you to reflect on. Now, throughout this whole 18 months, 21 months now, we hear a lot about COVID. COVID in the US, what is it? 1,060,000, I think 1.06 million people died from COVID, around there. And worldwide, it's about close to 6 million people died. 5.85 million people died worldwide, COVID. Inflation, you hear that all the time. Oh my goodness. The prices of products are getting higher, wages are getting lower, the stock market is tanking. You hear a lot of panic that's happening. Gas prices, prices of, I don't know, I eat oxtail a lot. Once upon a time, all right, once upon a time, oxtail was what, $8, now it's 18. Inflation. Wars, Ukraine, we hear about Russia, we hear about China, we hear about North Korea. So knowing that, let me ask this question. Now, is the state of the world, what's your view on the state of the world? Is it in a sad state, or do you think it's a state of opportunity? So we're hearing this, we're listening to this. Is the world in a sad state, or can it be seen as an opportunity? That's a question. That's a question.
One more time, please.
Okay. So what I've said before about COVID, inflation, war, what the media is presenting to us. In your mind, how do you think about the state of the world? Do you think of the state of the world as in a sad, depressed state, or in a state where there's opportunity?
Oh, opportunity.
Ah,
It's a
Daphne
consistent
says
cycle.
both.
There's ups, there's downs. So out of the bad comes good.
Interesting. Okay, Jose. All right. Who else? It's not in a sad state. Come on, so much people die, and there's so much injustice.
I think it's both. I think it's sad. I also feel like now we're gonna live long. Some people are living longer, so that's good. There's certain things that are, sad about it, and certain things that are good.
Got it. Yeah, Daphne is saying both as well. Jessica's saying yes, both. You can say no, it's in a sad, pitiful state. Lamina's saying it's in a scary state. So, listen, we have to be careful, because I asked the question. Let me scroll down here. I asked the question because we have to really be conscious of what we view, what we hear, what we see, and when that enters our inner self, how do we respond to it? And many of the world-class leaders and martyrs that you see in a state that looks pitiful, they always see opportunity. In a state that seems to be, totally dire and self-defeating, they always see hope. Take anyone, for instance, if you take, I don't know, you take Nelson Mandela. Woo, he went to, how long was he imprisoned? 27 years, all right? For his activism, for his, in saying to, in the time of the apartheid that, look, no, no, I think we deserve better as South Africans. We deserve to own land. We should be in equal footing. Though he saw the situation. So I'm not saying, to live in the clouds and disregard what's happening on the ground. No, you need to also have a sense of realism, but also hope. Also hope. You look at Obama. We talk about hope. You look at Obama. He was the hope messenger. He saw the state of the economy. Many people discouraged him from running. I don't know if you know that, but he had more no's than yes in his political career. Why are you doing this? Your vote doesn't count. You as president? Come on. Yeah. Malcolm X. Well, let's not even talk about Malcolm X. Not even talk about Malcolm X. He saw the situation as it is and he said, no, we deserve better. Black empowerment. Right? Even on the opposite end of the spectrum, Martin Luther King. He saw the situation, he said, no, we're all created equal. We should have some racial integration. They saw the situation as it is, but they were always hopeful. So there's not a wrong or right answer. When I say, how do you look at it? Look at the state of the world. It is both. But I want you to see the world for what it is and understand that you can make a difference, and that the responsibility for making a difference is partly yours as well. Don't wait for anything. Don't wait. It's partly yours as well. And it's funny because change has momentum. Change has momentum. Positive change and negative change. But here we're talking about positive change. It has momentum. The more people holding hands, in the same mindset, in this holding hands, hearts and minds towards a particular goal, they build a nation. They build a city. They create equality. So I want you, when you look at a situation, look at it for what it is, yes, but understand that there is a way to affect change. COVID, the pandemic. Look what came out from it. Many people died, yes. And one of my mentors died as well. So I can empathize. But the social justice sphere arguably got more press than ever. If the world wasn't standing still, the George Floyd situation, I don't know if it would have garnered that much attention. So through hope, we did effect change there. Mental health, right? We stood still. We were at home. We're saying, whoa, this is what I used to do all the time. This is what I've gone through. Work. And now people are saying that there's a better way, or we have to take care of ourselves, self-care. Well, the work from home, definitely. There's another way. There's an alternative to working. You don't always have to be in the office to be productive. Matter of fact, the facts say that people are 20% more productive at home. Well, again, that depends. If you have kids and whatnot, I would argue, no way. All right, any questions here? Any questions? look at the situation for what it is. However, understand that there is opportunity. Inflation, we talked about it. I talked about my oxtail being so darn expensive. Who here knows what oxtail is? Here I am talking about oxtail. and you guys will be looking at me like, what's this? What is oxtail? Yes, Chris just did it. Yeah, food.
It's one of the best tasting meats in the world, people, if you don't know.
That's right. That's right. I co-sign that. Yeah. Anyway, let me not even look at. Poking fun at him.
Oh yes, I love oxtails. Ooh, all kinds of ways. Jamaican way, Spanish way, all ways.
Woo! That's right. And it was inflation from $8 to $18. However, what came out of this situation, this issue, is that the world now understands that hold on. Now the pay scale isn't looking balanced. The diversity at the workplace doesn't reflect the consumer base. So it brings, though we're seeing a situation of high food prices, we're seeing a situation of that, hey, well, who can afford this? Most of us can't. Why? And an issue has been risen. And then those that are focused on really impounding and really reinforcing change pushes the issue. Well, now they need more diversity in this sector. I'm in real estate. I think I am only two. There's only two people with African descent in the program. out of maybe, I think it's about 36. All right. And if we compound that, that the numbers would get worse. So now here where I'm at, I want to see more diversity in real estate. So when Jose is saying, hey, that's a dream school, and I say, all right, if you mean it, let's talk. I mean it. Okay. Okay. So I saw the situation and I'm like, no, this cannot stay the same. Matter of fact, there are some stats that say, hey, if we do the very same thing, Fannie Mae disclosed this research. We do the very same thing in regards to diversity, inclusion, equity. We would be on equal footing in terms of opportunity in the next 150 years. Think about that. I take good care of myself. I try to drink a lot of water and work out as much as I can. I'm guilty at times not to do that. But 150 years is a stretch. I don't think that's a stretch. That's a couple generations well. That's a couple generations well. So in order for us to really be able to affect change, we all have to really work together to solve this problem. Relying on status quo and relying on time, it won't, we won't be able to be as dynamic as possible. So again, I'm really honing in that, hey, in the face of despair, in the face of uncertainty, there is an opportunity for us to really be able to affect change. We talk about global warfare, well, Ukraine, and Russia. We hear about that. China is aligning, at least so they say, with Russia. And different countries or relying against democracy as it stands. No comments, no political comments. I'm not. It's not. It's not this type of setting, but the warfare and the interaction between human beings is highlighting humanity. Why are we fighting? What's the reason? Really, and in that we're able to seek alliances, seek ideas that maybe meet our objective, or maybe is fair and just as much as possible, and really trying to integrate our strengths against a negative element. Yes, war is going on. However, we're looking at ways that we can positively affect change. We can stop it, or we can rework it, or we can manufacture a solution just based on a situation that's happening now that has a lot of negative effects. So, leaders, again, look within your lives and see where you can use this principle, use this philosophy. Look within your lives, because I'm sure there may be some elements happening to you right now that may look glim. However, take a step back and see how you can rework it to affect change, not only in your life, but maybe in the life of others. I have a situation going on. I'm not gonna tell, it's a family emergency that I am seeing that life is very fragile. So now I have an awareness of the time I have here, or the interactions with people, how very fleeting it is, and how you should cherish that. Any questions here? Any questions? Anyone can relate? Everyone's good? Very interesting. Very interesting. Makes sense. All right. So, areas of opportunity today. Now, you realize I have very little words in this. I like this. I know my son likes these type of things. So I figured, hey, might as well. So, leaders, we are in a very opportune environment. The world is looking for answers. In regards to the workforce, let's jump right into it. Every day there are leaders of businesses that are asking me the question, what do I think? A 2-day workforce, a 3-day work day, a 2-day work day? How can we keep talent? How can we meet the new workforce where it is? Because there is a huge gap between the workforces, a huge gap. One side of the spectrum, think with me now, I'm not gonna say, one side of the spectrum is saying, hey, I'm smart enough, I've been to school, I know what I'm doing, hey, I need to get paid that X amount of monies now. The other side is saying, well, it took me 20 years to do this, so it should take you the same amount of years. You have to go through A, B, C, D level to get there. So you should also walk that course. That's a real conversation happening now at the highest level. And they're looking for answers. They don't know what to do. And we are in this space when this is happening. We can solve this problem. They're looking for this. You're seeing polls that they're looking for an answer to this problem in real life. Is it a 3-day work week? Is it a 2-day work week? Can we just work remotely and not and not have offices only, or maybe just offices to meet. They're looking to shift the workplace dynamic for us. That's an opportunity there, because they're truly, their heads of businesses are really looking for answers. They are. Now, there's also leadership shift. There are more people that now look like us, share our values, and now are making leadership decisions. Now that's important for us, because now, and again, let me just have you think here a little bit. Now, no longer can we say, our vote doesn't count, or whatever we do, it doesn't culminate to anything. No, there are people now that look like us, that lived in environments that we lived, that has gone through experiences that we've gone through, and now they're looking for ways to be more inclusive. It's happening in real time. And matter of fact, even as leaders here in school, even I see you, Jose. Yeah, even leaders here in your college, you look at that right now. I am sure now that there's, I don't know, it's more diverse now. I know Jason can talk about that. Once upon a time, you're seeing the spectrum of student organization really be able to stretch from, it's a wider range of student life and student requests. So here now you can, and it's funny because at school you're able, and I look at it, and I always looked at school like a laboratory to make all the mistakes that you can. That's just me, man. Dream big, make all the mistakes you can now. So by the time that you transition over to the workplace, you are refined. That's what I did. That's how I used student life and student activities, man, volunteering, joining organizations, listening, involving myself in conversations, because these are the real conversations that's being had. If you never had them before, you would be awkward when it comes to having these type of conversations in a professional setting, where people are really sitting down and wanting to get your input. So use the opportunity that you have now. Use the opportunity. I am far, because of what I've learned from CUNY and with Jason and others regarding leadership. Oh my goodness, in a different stratosphere. And you have it as well. You have it here. First rate, top notch. Any questions here? Carlos, what about you, my friend? Okay. Any questions here? Abby, that's the question? Love your picture. I love your profile picture. She's like,
I'm sorry about that.
no worries. No worries. I'm poking fun at you. No worries. And thirdly, the value shift. The value shift. The value, and we talked about this a lot. One thing that the whole COVID pandemic taught me, one, that you have to really value your time. Those that you see today can be gone tomorrow, man. One of my mentors, Dr. Roy Hastic, he was a director for the Caribbean American Chamber of Commerce. He passed due to COVID. And that was very interesting to me, because again, one day, it was a very scary time. Was it for me alone? It was a very scary time. It really was. So, but it was a time to, have me really centered. That was a time that and it's still, we were still within this time that we can reset. We can say, okay, let me try this or let me not try this. And it put me in a space to really say to myself, how can I be of the best use to those around me and in the greater in the greater environment. So value shift. And it's very interesting as well, because those that are leading companies now at the maybe managerial level, those are leading companies now at the CEO level, those are leading companies now at the board level, investor level. There's a value shift. Some of these investors are saying, look, if you're not putting these monies into underrepresented communities, we're going to be taking our money somewhere else. That's a fact. That's happening right now. Or if you don't divest in oil, so if you don't use less oil and use more, more sustainable and more renewable products, you're not getting our business. So the value here is shifting. So much so that it's changing the behaviors of those that are ardent and don't want to shift their values. Imagine that. Imagine that. It's shifting so much because now you have a company, and if your client is saying, hey, you know what? I don't like where my money is being invested in. Either you change who you're investing with, or what you're buying, or your vendor, or else I'll take my business somewhere else. That's happening in the droves. So as a business owner, as a leader, it would have you thinking. It will have you self-evaluating. It's happening in real time. It's happening people are saying, look, hey, real estate, we are looking, and this is how crazy this is now. They're saying, look, the construction industry emits 20% of emissions. 20% in the world. The construction industry makes up 20% of the CO2 emissions. So now investors are saying, look, no. You have to change this, or else we put our money into something else. Then here's what we're seeing. We're seeing lower carbon concrete. We're seeing here houses being built with bamboo and with more organic. We're seeing a whole different shift. And traditionally, that industry has been very, let's just say, very traditional. But because of people like us that saying, nah, we stay true to our values, we see the danger in continuing this trend. No, we have made the decision to course correct. It's happening. It's happening. So I think we're really in a good spot, and you leaders are really in a space that you can think it through, figure it out, and become the spokespersons for things that's happening. It's, man, listen. The whole world is shuffling. The deck is being reshuffled. So I just want you to really be able to capitalize on this reshuffling. Any questions here? Okay. Now, let me give you some nuggets here Wow, that's the time, 4:30. Oh my goodness. 4:31. Wow. Okay. Now, here's a few tenets, a few pillars. What advice would you give us to take advantage of this? Okay. Now, there are a lot of different things. One of which, now that you're a student, to join professional memberships. There are student discounts. You hear the conversations. They want to hear your input, and you're able now to be in circles that the demographic is shifting, and they want more people that has the same, that has the experience as the client, as the consumer. So I would say, one, join professional organizations. That's one. Two, mentor. That's important. You don't want to learn by continuously making mistakes. It's good to make mistakes, but you don't want to be a genius that way. You don't want to be a genius that way. At all. At all. You know, and one of the things that helped me is to think in the majority. Chris, what the heck is that? Think in the majority. Let me pose that question before I answer the question. What do you think is meant by thinking in the majority? Thinking in the majority.
Perhaps viewing yourself as being part of the group in power, and not as an outsider, not as someone that's trying to, I don't know, climb up, but somebody that's already there.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Not quite. Not quite. I like that though. Not quite. Who else? Think in the majority. Let's see. Jose, come on. I want to hear you talk, man. You're typing here.
Oh yeah, I typed this. So I said thinking as a part of a society, like when you're thinking, make sure it's contributing to everyone.
Yes. Yes, that's more on script here. So one of the reasons let me answer the question that might be in your mind. Chris, how did you raise close to $1 million as a student? So I did all this as a student. You know, well, I thought in the majority. I said to myself, look, this was an amazing experience, but not everyone could raise 21,000 in 10 days. And I believe that the more people that see how much money there is, you know, being tuned with things outside of their zip code, the better. I think the better environment we'll have, the more high quality interactions we'll have a better world. We'll have a better world. And that propelled me to take actions to make it happen. So I took myself out of the equation. Thinking in the majority is taking yourself outside of the equation. It's really being able to put yourselves into the shoe of the making the impossible possible, or making what has not been the norm, being a physical manifestation of something. You are the one taking yourself outside of the picture to make it happen. So what I did, I draft a proposal. I draft the contract. I wrote a business plan. I pitched it to, first to the dean, then pitched it to the president. Then we had a referendum. 20% of the entire school population voted on it. Then I pitched it to the CUNY chancellor in the something, 24, 23 different schools, and he approved. Now, I didn't benefit from it. I didn't. But others will. And it alleviates the financial burden for those that really are interested in having a chance of a high quality life. Taking myself outside of the equation. And that is a secret, my secret to success, to taking yourself outside of the equation, putting yourself outside of the equation. The minute that you do that, the vision becomes smaller. People see, if you're self-centered, people see it, and your vision becomes smaller, and people won't gravitate to that. If you make that vision outside of yourself, larger than yourself, being able to encompass the majority, then guess what? The majority will ascribe to it. And then you can create major change. Think in the majority, and that's with everything. Now, the platinum rule. You guys must know about the platinum rule. What's the platinum rule? The platinum rule. There's a golden rule. Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. What is a platinum rule? What's the platinum rule? Never heard. Okay. The platinum rule is to treat others the way they would like to be treated. So not only is the golden rule, treat others the way you would want to be treated. That's the golden rule. The way you want to be treated, you treat others. That's the golden rule. The platinum rule is, let's take this a step further. I know that Jose, that Sash, that Kevin, that Carlos wants to be treated a certain way. Let's treat him that way. Let's treat her that way. The platinum rule. Woo! And interestingly enough, that does a number. That does wonders. The platinum rule. Leaders, don't forget that. I think this should be one for the record books. It opens doors that you would be like, whoa, okay, that was easy. I thought this would take X amount of time. The platinum rule. Use it and get back to me and tell me the results. The platinum rule. Yes, Daphne. Yeah. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Yeah. Any questions here? The platinum rule. Think in the majority. Think outside of yourself. Don't be the center of the mission. Let your mission be larger than yourself. And this is one of the hardest for me. But I'm very conscious about this, especially leaders. You're in leadership positions. We're all humans. So guess what we need to do? We need to understand that people make mistakes. And in understanding that, have room for forgiveness, or have room for understanding their plight. When you hear, when someone make a mistake, don't rush and say, why can you do this? And why? Be like, yeah, I understand. Because consciously, this is not even in the subconscious. Consciously, you're like, yeah, I know things happen. It's okay. It's okay. Because on your journey, not everyone would be as motivated as you. If you are a student leader, you know what I'm talking about. Not everyone shares your enthusiasm. That's okay. If you keep at it, enthusiasm, motivation. That's contagious. So keep at it. But initially that won't be the case. And when you are faced with situations where you can easily say, well, come on, you're doing one thing, I'm doing 10. What's your problem? Why isn't this done? Or when you can easily say, come on, I can't believe you haven't solved this problem yet. You're taking forever. Understand, absorb that emotion and think within yourself, yeah, okay. Yeah. I wonder what this person is going through. Oh, I wonder, give people room to make mistakes. Agreed, errors are what leads to growth. Ooh, the gems, man, the gems. Very nice, Jose. I'm serious. This is what helps me. This is what helps me, because you need, in leadership, you need to also have, I'll call it, guardrails that you always keep in check. Rules, I'll say just character idioms or sayings, or I'll just call them general rules that you bear in mind while leading. So when you're leading with purpose. You're not leading just to say, hey, I have this position. No, you lead to affect change. Understand that your mindset is ultra important in motivating those that are leading with you. Understand that, hey, you have to give people room to grow, room to make mistakes, and be there. And they won't forget this too. They won't, and it's interesting, because you may forget the bad words or the negative bantering that you express to someone, but they would never forget. Likewise, come on, everyone knows what I'm talking about here. I know we all had some situation that someone told you something very nasty, and days, weeks, years pass by, and you say, hey, you remember when you told me this? And the person's like, I did? Whoa. Okay. Right? Right? So now here with you, understand that negative words kind of, it's a poison to the soul. So be very mindful of the words that you use. And as fast as possible, say sorry. Yep. No energy vampires. As fast as possible, apologize. As fast. Make it a purpose. It's weak leadership to know you're wrong. My mother said, be wrong and strong. To know you're wrong, but no. Release it as quickly as possible. Let it be eloquent. Let it be sincere, but release it. Let the person know. And in any area of your life as well. That's a good practice. All right, it's 444, 444. Okay. Like that number. Any questions? I will open the floor to any questions you have.
No, I don't have a question. Just want to thank you for your presentation.
Oh, my friend, a pleasure. A pleasure. And I thank you, Kevin. And I want you leaders, this may seem, I don't know, simple, but it has helped me. And it's helping me. This is important. And I am expecting big things from all of you as well. I'm serious. Those who know me know me. All right, I am serious. I'll be checking up on you guys, and feel free to reach out. You know what? Let me do something here. Let me do something here. My phone number. Okay. Wow, Jose, you like you're fast with it. Yes, I use LinkedIn, but I was going to do something even better. That's my phone number. Okay. Christopherson, please. You have the floor.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it, man. You can hear me?
Pleasure.
That's good. Can you hear me? You can hear me, right? You can
Yes,
hear
I can hear you.
me? Thank
Yes,
you.
I can hear you.
So I want you to say thank you for the workshop and everything that you. I can't even relate. I'm gonna be very honest. Like for me, I like asking questions. You know what I'm saying? Because any class that I have would be math or English or history. I like to ask questions. Like, I remember yesterday. I have a class. It's statistics, right? Well, after class, I asked that's a question. You know what I'm saying? And the
Yep.
person looked at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, nah, man. I need to know what do you teach exactly? What is how you get the number? How you get the ends? How you get the equation? Because some
Yep.
people do not ask question, but for me, because for me, I like the philosophy. You know, if
Yep.
a philosopher likes asking questions, what is life itself? Why we born? This and this and this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna ask the question. So what is exactly do you do in this workshop?
So from my vantage point, and thank you, Christopherson, amazing, because that's how you know that you understand when asking questions and you're able now to regurgitate or to paraphrase in your words what you understood about what you've heard. Now, this workshop is to make, again, to, in my opinion, I would say, to help you maximize your academic, professional, personal success. This workshop is to build stronger leaders. For me personally here now, the workshop I'm doing is to be able to enhance your impact, to make sure that what you're doing or what you want to do is focused such that it becomes like a superpower to you. You know, being able to reinforce your skills that you're getting in tune to now with things with your passion, a cause, or maybe a lack of a cause, and you being able to focus your attention from within. I don't know if you were there when I started. Look within yourself, see what makes you angry, see what really have you feeling this bubble of mixed emotion, and then looking outside of yourself, whether it's in your surroundings or the wider world, and channeling that to really be able to create impact, you know. And it's a journey. It's happening right now as we speak. And you know, my aim is that today, after hearing this, you never be the same. You're thinking about ways to really affect change, you know. So what I've given you here, I want you to keep it with you, because it took a while for me to learn them. So I want you to really be able to, I hope you took notes, hope you drank your coffee and your water, or wash your face, or whatever you need to do to really be able to digest what you've learned here today. All right, consistent.
I have a follow up. And for me, I asked a question, like I told you. So I have a follow up question. So
Go.
you mentioned that this is a superpower, right? So so you believe that all of us student leaders in Leadership Academy should acquire what you said in the workshop and to apply it in our life, right? So you want us to have a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset, right? As you want us to do, right? So you want us to go beyond that expectation to overcome, you know, to have that motivation, that passion to make us keep on going. That no matter the problem, the motivation to go, you want us to have the motivation, right? You want something, you want to give us something that will give us aspiration. That's what you trying to say, right?
That's correct. That's correct, because it's only through your passion and your will, well, passion first and then your will, that you're able to really affect maximum change. So now we're talking about past, we're talking about change that has transcended time. People may be tired, people may be sleeping, but you are motivated and energized. Your energy comes from the work that you're doing. So so the more you do the work, the more energy you have, and that will you would outpace anyone. I know you're definitely a great philosopher. Thank you. Thank you, Sashi. You're too kind. Let me answer Jose's question. For finding your purpose from within, how do you prioritize? What do you want to tackle first in life? Ooh, what I do. So again, I can only talk, about myself. I reverse engineer. So I look at my goals, what I want to do. So typically what I want to do before I retire, okay, air quotes. And then I backtrack on how I can achieve them. All right, let's just say I want to open a private equity fund. What's the skills that I need? Who do I need to know? What are the players out there? And I reverse engineer until now. So that's maybe a 50-year plan that I break down into fives until now I'm in college at Hostos University studying a particular subject matter. And then so I know how I need to do it because I reverse engineer. So what I'm doing in this present time is me just walking in that purpose. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay. And that's very important to write your plans down and then have a mentor. Trust it. Well, that's again hard to find. Someone that you can share your aspirations with. Let them give you some critique, so you can recreate, your objective. That's very important. So you do it smart. You take smart cuts, so the most efficient way, other than, and another nugget. And my wife, she's the true philosopher. She told me, Chris, well, no, this is for a different day. I'll just share it with you. Yeah, I can't leave you like that. She said, I won't do that to you. She said, Chris, understand when you're reading, because I read a lot. Understand when you're reading that what people share with you, you have to put your own spin to it. Everyone's situation isn't the same. Yes, you hear, you read, they're successful, but your journey might not be their journey. So in that process, you may need to things that you need to discard, you discard. How about that? And things you need to keep, you keep. How about that? All right. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. I'll leave the floor open for any other questions that you have. Thank you, Chris. So at my presentation is over, and I really want you to reach out. I'm on LinkedIn. I hope everyone has a LinkedIn page profile. I wonder what my LinkedIn profile is. Oh my goodness. You can I know Jose brought it up, the professional here. If you look at Christopher A. Browne, you'll find me. My pleasure, my brother. If you look, yeah, there's many Christopher Browns here, so I had to put my middle name in there.
Yeah, and if you look me up, you can find Christopher too, because we're
There you
linked
go.
on LinkedIn.
There you go.
So I just want to make a couple of contributions here, since nobody's asking any questions. The first thing is, what you just said which was the nugget that you said maybe didn't fit with the this particular presentation, but was a good nugget overall about your reading. It's interesting because as a former writer, the one thing that a writer really wants to do is to be able to reach every audience member possible. So there are some writers who write something that it's it's going to be taken in one particular way, right? We know those are the type of novelists or fiction or nonfiction writers who just say, this is the fact, this is what I'm sharing with you, you take it how you like, but basically I'm telling you what it is. But for somebody who's a fiction writer, a dramatist, somebody who's trying to find their audience where their audience is, you're trying to open up as many doors as possible. You want to be open to interpretation. In the theater, which is an area that I'm familiar with, they actually have a person who actually works in the theater who's called a dramaturg. That person actually interprets the play script for the directors and the actors and for everybody else. They'll end up being theater critics in a lot of cases. And we do the reviews of all of these presentations that have been done because those writers are trying to reach the audiences where they are. They're not trying to silo them in and say, this is what it is. And the reason why many people have a relationship with authors like Shakespeare is because it's so open-ended that you can interpret it in any way that you possibly see fit. So you can set Shakespeare in the 1940s. You can set Shakespeare with a cast of different people than would have originally played the roles. And so there's a lot of different things. So it's an interesting point of reference. But I want to go back to the main purpose of the workshop and how it applies to the group and some of the folks who are writing in the chat about this. And it's an example of why Christopher and I linked up and why I wanted to bring him in to do workshops. You're in the position right now as a student, you're in the lab. You're in the position right now where you are at the forefront of things that are changing. When I had been a teacher and I went back to college around, late 1990s, early 2000. Had I not gone back to college at that time to get a graduate degree, I would not have been as good with computers as I am now. Because the people who had been there before, who had been in power before, who had been, successful before, were not doing everything the way that we do it now on computers. You're in the perfect atmosphere. You're in the perfect storm of location. You're at the bridge, the beginning of the bridge of what's coming next. So you're learning, yes, a lot about what has already existed, but you're on the forefront of what is going to be possible and what you can make possible. And the initiatives that are coming out of people, the work that Christopher has done, the work that Christina Marine, who was with us last week, has done, the work that Gio DeRice, who popped on this session today, has done, and others who you'll meet over the course of your time at college, not just through the Leadership Academy, but through your classes and through the work that you do in volunteering and other things. You will open up doors for yourselves that nobody ever thought to open before. And that's, I think, the most important thing of what Christopher said. He saw an opportunity to open up a door because he walked through a door that had not been opened up for other people before. And he did it by doing something extraordinary. And then he decided, well, this needs to be something that's open for other people. And I'm going to make the way for other people to be able to walk through that door. And so as a vision point for all of you who are leaders, right now, you're leaders, whether you accept it or not, you're leaders.
That's
But
right.
the vision point for you is to realize that there's something in what you're doing right now that you're going to push a door open for. You're going to build the extra step on the bridge. You're going to make the connection that was never made before. And you're going to make it possible for somebody who comes behind you to do something extraordinary as well. And I talk about that a lot, Chris. When we're on the campus, we saw Jose. He's at the booth right now. I talked about the booth and the fact that it wasn't there before, and there was a group of SGA students who decided that we needed to have this information booth there. And we had a visitor come to the college and say, I've never seen this on any other college before, where the students are just here and giving out the information. Okay, it is. Somebody had a vision. Somebody put it into place. Somebody made it happen, and then it opened the door for other people. And the same thing in everything that you do. And it might be somebody in your family. It might be like Chris's mom. or it might be somebody who you meet along the way on the journey. It might be your mentor, who one of the professors at the college, or somebody who you meet at the next level when you get your bachelor's degree or master's degree. Or it might be somebody who you meet out there doing something that you really, really love doing. One of the things that I love doing is volunteering with the group, because people don't realize what volunteering is. It's basically like showing a lot of love for people without expecting anything in return. And so when I talked right before we went on today, I was talking about the volunteer projects for the next 2 weekends for breast cancer awareness and Alzheimer awareness. The people who are going out there are going out there to represent themselves, their family members, things that people who have been touched by these things, these tragic things that happen in our world, they're out there. And when we go out there and we're volunteering, we're actually showing them that we care, even though we may not have been personally affected by it. But we're there to support. We're there to be the shoulder. We're there to hand out the bottle of water, whatever it is. It makes a difference. It's impactful. Just like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, planting that tree. You may never see the fruit of your labor. We planted 1,000 trees in St. Mary's Park a few years back. Some students go by there and they see the trees and they wonder if it's the tree that they planted. It doesn't even matter. The fact that we did it, and that some of those trees actually grew to full size and will be there for hundreds of years, hopefully.
Yeah.
You are making an impact. And so the same thing for your leadership and what Chris was talking about today. You make the impact. You decide what the journey is going to be for yourself. You open up the door for yourself. You make an impact by doing the things that you're doing to fulfill yourself. But once you do it, you have to realize you have a responsibility to others to give it back, to pay it forward, pay it back, however you want to call it, whatever term you'd like to use. And my emails are buzzing. Sorry about that. So I want to thank you, Chris, for being here. It's 5
My
o'clock. I want
pleasure.
to recognize everybody's
Pleasure.
time here. And I'm going to pull this out so I can be in the gallery with everybody if everybody wants to see. So I want to thank you for being here, Chris, as always. I wish you great success. I'm always watching through LinkedIn, through Facebook, through the ways that we communicate. And as he said, literally the guy gave you his phone number right here in the chat. So you copied it down, or you should copy it down. You don't even need his LinkedIn. You don't even need his Facebook. You just need to text him and say, Chris, I have a question.
That's
How do
correct.
I get to this location?
That's
So
correct.
as we say on a regular basis with with almost all the speakers who come and speak, Chris is like a tangential mentor who wants to help out and give back and support your efforts. And he does it through the work that he does in the workshops that he does, but he also does it in his life. And so that's why he was so willing to give you his phone number just straight out. And he puts his actions where his words are. I don't know whatever that phrase is.
That's where your mouth is.
Money,
Yep.
money
Where your mouth
his
is.
whatever. Okay, it's Friday. It's a long week. I can't remember all the cliched phrases. Made it my own. But I want to say thank you, Chris, of course.
A pleasure.
We love you and
Not a problem.
wish you great success.
Not a problem.
And thank you, everybody, for being here. Enjoy the warm weather as long as it lasts before it gets too cold. If you're out there with me on Sunday, I look forward to seeing you Sunday morning. If not, hopefully next weekend when we're out at a couple of other things on Saturday and Sunday. And I'm in the building next week. So please drop by, say hi. Let me know if you need something, and I look forward to seeing you all. And
All right.
I say
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jason.
Pleasure.
so bye,
Pleasure,
Carlos. Bye,
Sashi.
Yasir. Bye, Jose.
Jose,
Bye, Brian.
Brian,
Bye,
Carlos,
Kevin.
Yuka.
Bye, Kevin. Bye, Jessica.
Pleasure all.
Bye, Sasha.
Have a
Great work.
great weekend, everyone.
Everybody,
Bye,
everyone.
Bye,
Great
Bridget.
weekend.
Bye, Francine. Bye, Casey. Bye, Sheridan.
Bye. Bye,
Christy.
everyone.
Bye, Suprina. Bye, Chris.
Hey, Brian.
And bye, Brian.
Hey, what's good, Casey?
Bye. Thank you
And
so
Annie,
much.
thank you for all your help. Bye, Annie.
Bye, Annie.
Good to see you, Carlos. I'll see you all soon.
Bye, Jason.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too.